Hello everybody. If you want all the story's content in full, please go to www.steveuk.blog. Thank you. Short story 829, The Echo in the Walls. Upper Advanced. The first time Martha heard it, she was cleaning teeth in a dental surgery on the third floor of the old office building. It was late, almost 10, and the rain outside was heavy enough to drown out the city. She was alone, as usual. The practice had closed at 6, but Martha always stayed behind to prepare the instruments for the morning. She liked the silence, or she used to. The sound came from the air vent above the sink. Not a voice exactly, more like a breath dragged across metal. She turned off the tap and listened. The building was empty. The other tenants, a solicitor and an accounting firm, never worked past 7. "Hello?" she called. Her own voice sounded small. The vent answered, not with words, with a copy. "Hello?" it said, but thinner, as if the sound had been peeled from hers and stretched. Martha stepped back. She told herself it was acoustics. Old buildings did strange things. Pipes carried noise. She finished quickly, switched off the lights and left. The next night it happened again. This time she was in the staff room, eating a sandwich. The vent was silent until she sighed. Then the sigh came back, longer, wetter. By Friday she started to record it. She held her phone up to the grill. "Who are you?" she asked. The reply took 3 seconds. "Who are you?" Then a pause. Then, in a voice that was not hers, "Hungry." She did not go back on Saturday. On Sunday she called the building manager. He laughed. "It's the ventilation. The wind gets trapped. Happens every autumn." He promised to send someone on Monday. On Monday the engineer found nothing wrong. He opened the ducts, shone a torch and said, "Clean as a whistle. Maybe rats, but I see no droppings." Martha did not mention the word hungry. That night she worked with her earphones in. Music loud. When she removed them to rinse a tray, the vent was whispering. Not her words this time, new ones. "Martha. Cold. Come closer." She ran. In the stairwell she met Dan from the solicitors. He was collecting files. "You look ill," he said. "Do you ever hear things in the vents?" she asked. He frowned. "Only pigeons. They nest on the roof. Drove me mad last spring." Pigeons did not say her name. Tuesday she brought a camera. She balanced it on the cabinet and filmed the vent while she worked. For 2 hours, nothing. Then, as she packed up, a sound like wet paper being torn came from the grill. On the video, the metal flexed. Not much, just a ripple, like something pressing from behind. Then a whisper. "Open." Martha did not sleep. She researched the building. Built in 1962, previously a pathology lab for the hospital. Closed after an incident in 1984. The records were sealed. Wednesday, she did not go to work. She told the dentist she had flu. At 3 a.m. she was awake and her phone played a notification. A voice note from her own number. She had not sent it. She pressed play. It was her voice, but not. "The wall is thin here. I can see your light. Open." She blocked her number. It did not help. More notes came. Thursday she returned to the surgery at noon, determined to end it. She brought a screwdriver and removed the vent cover. The duct was dark and narrow, coated in dust that looked like grey fur. She leaned in, torch in her mouth. The smell hit first, sweet like old meat. Then the sound, right in her ear, though the duct was empty. Closer. Something moved, not in the duct, in the wall. A bulge formed in the plaster beside the vent, as if a face was pushing from the other side. The paint cracked, a seam split and an eye opened. It was not human. Too wide, too wet, with no white, only black. It blinked. Martha screamed and dropped the torch. The eye did not leave. It watched. Then the wall spoke. The whole wall, using her voice, her mother's voice, the dentist's voice, all at once. You opened. Thank you. The plaster tore like skin. The thing that came out was not solid. It was made of shadow and noise and the echoes of every word the building had ever swallowed. It poured into the room, into her mouth, into her ears. Dan found her the next morning. The police said it was a heart attack. The vent was back in place, screwed tight. The camera was gone. The surgery closed for a week. When it reopened, the new cleaner, a young man from Poland, stayed late on his first night. As he mopped the floor, he heard a sound from the vent above the sink, a breath dragged across metal. Then, in Martha's voice, it said, "Hello?" If you learned a new word today, please make sure to subscribe so you can practice again next time. Vocabulary notes. Drown out, phrasal verb, meaning to make a sound impossible to hear by being louder than it. Example, the rain outside was heavy enough to drown out the city. More examples, the music was so loud it drowned out our conversation. She turned up the radio to drown out the sound of the building work. Similar words, overpower, mask, overwhelm. Note, often used with sounds, noise or voices, common in British English. Acoustics, noun, plural, meaning the qualities of a room or building that determine how the sound is transmitted inside it. Example, she told herself it was acoustics. Old buildings did strange things. More examples. The concert hall has excellent acoustics for classical music. The empty flat had terrible acoustics. Every footstep echoed. Similar words. Sound quality, resonance, echo effects. Note, usually used in plural form even when talking about one room, common in architecture and music. Ripple, noun verb, meaning, noun, a small wave or slight movement on a surface. Verb, to move with small waves. Example, on the video, the metal flexed, not much, just a ripple like something pressing from behind. More examples, a ripple of fear went through the crowd when the lights failed. The news caused ripples across the whole industry. Similar words, wave, undulation, tremor, shiver, flutter. Note, used literally for water, metal, and metaphorically for emotions or effects that spread. Sealed, adjective, meaning closed in a way that makes access impossible, kept secret from the public. Example, closed after an incident in 1984. The records were sealed. More examples. The documents are sealed for 50 years under government rules. The police found a sealed envelope under the floorboards. Similar words, classified, confidential, restricted, airtight, shut tight. Note, can describe physical objects, a sealed box, or information, sealed records. Bulge, noun verb, meaning, noun, a part that swells outward from a surface. Verb, to swell or stick out. Example, a bulge formed in the plaster beside the vent, as if a face was pushing from the other side. More examples. He noticed a suspicious bulge in the man's jacket pocket. The walls started to bulge after the water damage. Similar words, swelling, protrusion, lump, swell, distend, balloon. Note, often suggests pressure from inside, can feel ominous in descriptive writing. story written by Meta, animation created by Meta. To read, see all the story's content in full, please go to www.steveuk.blog. Thank you. CC Music, drifting at 432 Hz, Unicorn Heads.